Are you on your phone here too?
I'm on my iPad.
Oh, gotcha. Because you are condensed, like you're vertical, so you're square.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, let me fix that. I don't like that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that whole thing.
Yeah.
To be honest,
A quarter of the size of mine. There you go. Now we're the same size. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Sometimes when I have meetings, I do it like that just so I can I'll just go like that. I got to figure out my lighting scenario, but I find with my room and the backlight when I do conference calls, which I do a lot of on a weekly basis, the lighting scenario, and there's my camera. There we go.
Yeah, because last time you were at your office.
Exactly, yeah. On my computer too, but the computer audio hasn't been great. So I happen to get an iPad. You know, I'm not really an iPad guy, an Apple guy, but iPad is so good for things like what we do at church from multimedia. It just works so well. I just been enjoying the iPad.
Absolutely. I've never experienced an iPad.
Oh, really?
I've fiddled with one only a handful of times.
Gotcha.
No, I bought something from Amazon that I thought was an iPad, but it ended up just being an Amazon only.
Right.
So
It was. That's so funny. I love that. Totally see that buying an iPad and tablet thinking it's an iPad, but no, that's not going to perform like an iPad at all.
Not at all, dude. It restricted me so much from anything
100%, man.
that I needed it for. It wouldn't do anything. I asked it to.
100%, dude. 100%. Yeah. Not nearly as versatile. I mean, it's good for it's an Android operating system, so it's good for some stuff. But yeah, the iPad's actually really good. Surprising, it was only half the price of the Samsung. It's not the Pro version, right? So it's just an iPad, but I thought it'd be more expensive, but it's actually pretty durable. Again, it works with the camera system I have at yours, like just perfectly, a lot better than my phone did, Android.
Great camera.
So yeah, I got Jocelyn the Samsung Tab, and I got the iPad for the media stuff. And the Tab is just gorgeous. I mean, It's got amazing screen. Even the movies you watch on it are just sick, man. But the iPad's really functional and really durable, it seems. So far, I've been happy with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad has something very similar. Something small, can't fit in a pocket, but it's not as big as an iPad.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. The iPad certainly is not something fit in a pocket, but I really like it. I think I'm gonna get a case and a keyboard for it, so I can. I think I could use it even more effectively with a keyboard.
Yeah.
If I had a mouse with it, it'd be really nice. I just thought of that. But yeah, no, super cool.
You just made me think of something that I want to get, which is a case for all my stuff, where I don't have to hard drive, make sure that. Grab one thing, and it has my drone, it has my hard drive, it has my computer if need be.
You have a drone now?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, you've been getting some gear, man.
Yeah. This is what.
Wow, dude, that is really cool. How is it? Like, have you used it? Wait a second. On that commercial you produced for the yogurt shop, was that your drone?
No, that was Richard Riffle.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, which this is his old one.
Oh, it inspired you to go. Oh, yeah.
Dude, it added so much.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. And you just these out there propellers. I was flying it inside, without the guards.
Yeah.
Crashed and fell a couple times.
Yeah.
May have dinked the camera a little bit.
Oh no. Hey, speaking of drone shots, we were just watching The Revenant last night again for about the second time for me. And they have this gorgeous shot where he's walking across the frozen lake and the drone comes in on him as he's walking towards you. And it was just like almost surreal looking. And Jocelyn says, look at that. And I was like, yeah, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous shot. And by the way, congratulations on your 700,000 followers on TikTok, man. That's really cool.
Thank you very much,
That's something else.
I know. It freaking more than doubled. Because this Friday will be 3 Fridays ago.
Yeah.
I made a video with Casey crossing 400K.
Just 3 Fridays ago?
3 Fridays ago.
Oh my gosh. You're at that point where you're
Yes.
the tipping point here, man, right? We're starting to come. Wow. Well, and I saw you the funny one the other day about President Trump keeps breaking my heart. TikTok,
Yeah.
yes. TikTok, no.
I know.
Isn't that true? What were you thinking, man? Because we're going to get rid of TikTok, and then Oracle and Walmart are going to jointly buy it.
Yeah, dude, I think I'm trying to, he's great at chess. I think that all he did is he just pressured him. For him to sign a deal Friday and then Saturday he's like approving a deal, that means somebody like
oh yeah, man,
pitched something to him really fast out of like desperation. I think he got him. He won.
He won. Yeah, I think he's used to winning. Hey, I was going to ask you a question because people like me, we sometimes advertise on and do things on different platforms. Like specifically, in our church environment or small business. When I've done consulting, we'll have people advertise on Google or YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or whatever. But you're on how many platforms right now? You got Insta, right? You got TikTok, you got YouTube, you load on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
And where else are you seeing action?
Reddit.
On Reddit.
A lot of my videos, maybe just the one, but a lot of times has played on Snapchat. So, but it's not just like ending up on Snapchat.
Oh, interesting. So you got 6 different platforms, roughly speaking.
Yeah.
So how do you experience those platforms for you? Like, what's the difference in the audience, or what sticks? I'm really curious. Like, you get 18 million views on TikTok for one of your more recent ones, you said, right? It's freaking amazing, dude. But maybe that same one gets, maybe a few thousand on YouTube or something. So have you found different platforms hit different types of people? And kind of curious.
Yes, actually. I feel like the honor of a follow increases from TikTok to Instagram to YouTube.
Oh, really?
I think a subscribe is different than just a follow.
Wow. So subscribe is better to you than a follow.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Follow is easy and it can be undone. But if I subscribe to something, and not everybody uses their media like mine, like me.
Right. Yeah.
In fact, I find that to be the case, like seriously. I think that I use social media just broadly in a different way than most people might, which frustrates me and frustrates me. I get frustrated with my circle.
It's hard, isn't it? Because you and I have talked about this. Like you and I will watch a Joe Rogan clip end to end. Like we'll watch the full freaking 3-hour interview, right? And I'm not stopping until I get to the end. I don't care if it takes me a week.
Yeah.
And then I'll send to some people. They're like, oh yeah, I kind of skipped through it. For about 2 minutes. It was really good. And I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. I know. For Rogan recently, it's been less so. I'm not big into the change that he's made recently. I don't know because I didn't really follow Rogan until the last year, probably.
Right.
Knew about
Right.
it, really didn't. I didn't see any interest, and then I really got into it. But
Well, you started doing it too, right? So all of a sudden you're like,
yeah,
man, if you're gonna watch a podcast, he's incredible.
yeah, and I think that Howard Stern and Rogan are like
Yes.
the two people, maybe a few others, but that just free flow the conversation. You're totally in there. You do this.
Yeah, you too. I think we're all kind of in that.
Yeah.
We love that, just flowing back and forth. Yeah.
I love the unprepared approach.
Yes.
Interview. It's just a conversation. I don't even call it an interview.
Right. That's a good point. Not really an interview, is it? It's just more of conversation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really good, dude. I like that. Yeah. So yeah, Rogan, he made that deal for like $100 million, and I think that put some pressure on him. I think his content's still good, but he issued an apology a couple days ago, which was a little unusual. I mean, he did get it wrong, right? I think he was mistaken about what he said, but I think what bothered me was that he was kind of forced into it by who's the folks that he just got bought by? Like,
Spotify.
Spotify. Sorry, yes, I saw the logo, couldn't see the name.
Yeah, right.
The Spotify employees put pressure, and all of a sudden he's out apologizing. I'm like, okay, I mean, yeah, that's kind of weird. And they're trying to censor his content, and he claims it won't have any effect on his content, which I hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
So much censorship these days, man. They're talking about people who've been on his show that are transphobic or homophobic, and I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, who cares? There's so many people on his show. He's got atheists, he's got theists, he's got left people, he's got right people, he's got gay people, he's got straight people. I mean, why are we trying to censor so much content today?
And I know, I think that it might be out of his control at this point. I saw a TikTok that was saying they might have slipped the rug out from under him.
Oh, gotcha.
Or he changed what he was saying as he went into the deal. Like, with it being censored, with it not, I mean, I heard that anybody that talks about Trump or is a Trump supporter, they're just not going to air those episodes.
I can't literally even fathom a company doing that.
No.
I can't believe what's happening in the corporate world. Like, we always were afraid of government censoring us, but now it's Facebook and Twitter. And I listened to an interview by a doctor on Carlson, Tucker Carlson, and she's a Chinese doctor who was just making the claim that the evidence of coronavirus that's currently spreading was man-made. It was modified by humans, and she believed it was probably released intentionally. Okay, and you go, okay, well, that's interesting, but they took down her video on Twitter, and I'm like, why is that? I mean, she may be a minority opinion on this, but she's got her credentials, and I think she has every right to say that. But we're in this weird phase of social media, man, right now. It's strange.
I know. The social dilemma. Have you heard about this or watched this at all?
It's on my watch list. Yeah, I saw it about a week ago, and I said I need to watch that because
I had heard about it and then finally decided to watch it. Probably like a 3.5 out of 5. From the filmmaking aspect, I think that they were fairly new filmmakers. Okay. So I found a lot of their information to just be like, okay, you just said that 3 times, but different each way, and that was my biggest critique. But what they discuss is
but what they're discussing is like, you go, oh wow, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, it is kind of, when you think about what they're collecting, what they know about you is, in all the companies. I mean, I think Google might be highlighted in there from like, I could tell, but It's crazy. And I like what Andrew Yang was saying, actually, when he was running for president. He said, look, if companies are going to make money off your data, they should pay you for it. And it might be pennies or nickels or dimes, but I actually agree. I don't think that the big tech companies should aggregate all this personal data on these platforms we use and then use our data to make money without somehow sharing it back, even if it's just a trickle, right?
Dude, I would hope for Andrew Yang. I don't know how you feel about him, but
I would too. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that he's young enough. He brings this like new energy to watch him on an interview or a podcast. He's like cracking jokes or laughing at goofy stuff.
No.
Like
it was good. Yeah. I would have enjoyed him as a VP, I think, if I put him with somebody with a little more political tenure.
Yeah.
And then see him as a president in 8 years. I would have been on board with that. I don't know why the Democrats didn't go in a direction. That would have been really innovative. He's really open-hearted, open-minded, super smart, gets technology. And you look at Biden and Trump, you're just like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
These guys at a different level, you know. Yeah. There were a couple of Democratic candidates I would have really enjoyed seeing in the race. I don't know what we're going to do, man. This is a tough vote for me. I got Trump on one hand and Biden on the other, or Kamala maybe is what you're really thinking, you know. But
yeah, how much credence do you give that theory of Biden being elected and then stepping down? Do you see that?
I don't see him stepping down, but I don't see him functioning very well for 8 years if he gets elected. I really think if you vote for Biden, you're voting for Harris in my mind. If I was to vote that direction, I would not be voting for him. Yeah. I'd be hoping or expecting him to become inept or incompetent enough where he can't function, or, you know, physical, you know, he can't do it, and then she becomes president. I'd be voting for Harris. I can't see him. I'll listen to some of his talks. I mean, there are moments he's really lucid and really on point. There are moments. Sure. Sometimes I just go, oh, geez, this guy can't hold a conversation without reading cards. How is he going to lead our country, right?
Yeah. I hadn't even thought the 8 years thing.
Yeah, 8 years. Can you imagine? I can't.
So at what point, what would be the line that he would have to cross for he can be president for us to realize he's too senile to finish, right. You know, 6 years in, say.
Yeah. Oh, right. You know, yeah, I think there's a mechanism for competency, and actually I don't know exactly how it works, but I think it's a vote, like in the House or the Senate, to say, hey, this guy's no longer competent or something, or maybe you know, someone suffers a stroke, has a medical condition. There's probably a judiciary process that happens. It gets kicked off.
No doubt.
Yeah, but to me, if you're voting Democrat, you're voting for Harris. This is not a Biden vote. But you know, I could be wrong.
Yeah, it makes me think of like countries that have to put up with like a senile king,
right?
Without the choice to outvote them, you know?
Yeah, like a dictator, right? That you can't. Yeah, you just have to wait until they die, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Not have to be that is like truly such a blessing.
Yeah, we're in a different place, man. I was thinking the other day, how do I compare our times that we live in? And I wondered if this was like what our parents felt like in the 60s when, you know, the hippies and, you know, the communes, you know, riots in downtown, especially California, you know, cars burning, and campuses being lit. And I go, well, I think our parents lived through this time, you know, and they were, you know, just 40, 50 years ago, it may have been the exact same thing. Because it's kind of weird, man. Think about, we've had coronavirus. We've had, well, I was thinking through the last year and a half, you had those caravans that may have been organized and orchestrated by somebody that was paying people, right, for this long journey from Latin America through Mexico up to the border. And that was just surreal to me, how much press coverage I got. you get all these shootings and deaths that happened, and then you've got coronavirus. Then you got the fires here in the West Coast, and the skies were just red, you know. You've got more hurricanes forming in the Gulf, and you've got, I mean, the devastation of the landscape here in the West. And now we're looking at this election, and you get the Black Lives Matter, you got the protesters, the rioters, you know, legitimate protests, and you've got the rioters, you know, setting police stations on fire. And you've got this reporter from MSNBC with this fire in the background going, well, it's really a peaceful protest here, you know. Like, what is going on, man? Like, this is just crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
I really don't have the words for it.
I don't either. It's, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Everyone says coronavirus will end when the election happens.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know if that's true or not, but it wouldn't surprise me, right? All of a sudden,
yeah.
Oh, hey, it's all better.
Yeah. I think that into 2021, this stuff will just keep rolling.
You think?
People are like, oh, 2020, I'm so over 2020, but what makes us think that 2021 is going to be any better?
Any better, right?
It could be 4 years of okay, 2020 was like the top. 2021 has been like, okay, now shit's hitting the fan for our country.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, my hope, and thanks for saying that, because I was hoping that the end of 2020, whether whoever won the election, that we would start to see things die down, kids go back to the classroom, restrictions on masks lifted, social distancing, you know, especially because the science isn't really supporting the masks. I mean, at least what I'm reading, greatly, there seems to be a little efficacy, but not much. But all of this, I mean, humans need humans. We need touch. We need to interact. And all this social distancing and no contact is really detrimental to us as people, man. And I was really hoping by the end of this year that would all just kind of calm down and go away. But watch, you're right. We'll probably have another coronavirus from China come and ravage the country.
Right. The vaccine worries me.
Oh, the vaccine. Yeah, that's a possibility.
We'll into that and watch that be like devastating.
Yeah. Right. You can see a vaccine kind of backfire, right? Potentially. If it's not done right.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, dude.
That'd be horrible.
Yeah. Wouldn't like it. Yeah, we live in strange times, bro. Literally, this in my life is probably the most, 2011, 2001, September 11th was a tough year. I feel like this probably in aggregate tops that for the sheer kind of insanity that's happening, right?
Globally.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something else, dude. It's something else.
Yeah. I know. But like proceeding forward, I guess, because our future is up in the air, but I have to move forward with my chosen career path as if nothing is happening. You know?
You're right. All those kind of like life things that you have to do, you still have to figure out how to do them, right? And speaking of life things, dude, yeah, your presence online is really going great, man. That's just something else, dude. You start a little income from that little cheddar.
Yeah, I know.
So good, man. When did you start to see that break?
When I got on TikTok for the first time. I think that's what it was. I just had not, I didn't have the right vehicle to have every other social media. People have to know your profile to go see your work.
Oh, yeah.
They can just scroll past and find me by accident. And that's what most people did. Almost 750,000 people have like just
750,000. That's so good, Colin. And I'm gonna be calling you a little bit later on a TikTok.
Yeah.
Famous friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so cool, dude.
Yeah, and I don't know what the potential is, but
It's worth exploring now, isn't it? You're going like, oh wow,
more and more
this,
so.
this could be interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love, and I owe a lot of it to you because I love being able to step behind the camera and practice that side of things too.
Oh yeah.
It just so happens to be something that I'm good at.
Yeah, it is.
I
Yeah.
The coronavirus, I think, has really proven how many actors really don't know movies or film or how to produce their own stuff, and I just like happen to be good at both sides.
Both sides of it, yeah. And to anyone listening that may not know, let's just shout out to the Salem Roundtable and some of the, you should look at some of the, especially the interview you did last time that we had in the auditorium where we're talking about the pole jams. I mean, some of your shots there and that you got really creative in that talk I had with David. I love some of those little quirky shots that you took with
Yeah,
the hands and it was just really cool way to do an interview. Like it wasn't a traditional look. And I was like, wow, that is really creative.
totally. Even despite all the issues that happened that day.
Despite all the issues. Yeah, we were at the card space. We were,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, oh, I was gonna say that even our last episode on here, what if we shared it? What if we just did uploaded this to Roundtable too?
Oh, we, we totally should.
Yeah,
We should totally load this up to the round table.
I would totally share this episode and
The previous one as well.
because you're a repeat. You're my.
Oh, we should totally do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did we not think about this?
I don't know.
The founders of the round table have a podcast and we don't load it up on the round table.
I know. Yeah.
Wow. That's good, dude. That's really good.
I'm excited for Saturday.
Oh, yeah. We'll find out about the interview, but me too. It'll be a good panel to be on. I think it'd be good for us to have some exploratory conversations around race relations in a church context. Yeah. Really cool.
Oh, at Dutch Bros, I was talking to the window person, the window worker, about our episode. Like, we're sitting there waiting for the coffee, and she just happens to be asking me what I'm up to, and I just got on to talking about Saturday and and like what I've been filming and stuff. Oh, she was asking me what I'm doing for work. Like, hey, have you found a job? Because she's semi up to date with that situation.
Right.
And I was just telling her, like, no, I'm doing like contract work, you know.
Oh yeah. You've been doing like the commercial. Yeah, so good. Yeah, that was such a good commercial too, man. Sure. That was really amazing.
Yeah, so I'm super proud of it. To have a hand in every stage of that, to record the song with the couple.
I was thinking the song too.
Yeah. Well, first off, to write the lyrics, and then to have that go into production, and a little bit of post, not really, and then put the visuals to that song together.
Right. Yeah. Your sister's in there, right? Your mom, is your dad in there too?
Sister, boyfriend, mom, and dad.
Your mom did, yeah.
Emmy and Jonathan Perkins from Faith, they recorded the song. Richard helped with his drone, his Mavic Pro.
Yeah. So good.
Reed for, dude, he was so cool to work with. I would work with him again anytime. He showed up that day, unlocked everything for us. Never pressured me to keep him updated during that month of August or anything. I didn't even give him a quote until after I had finished the whole thing. So we really didn't even talk about that. I was just like, I'm just gonna make you this video, and he showed up and opened the whole yogurt bar for us. I mean, he was slicing strawberries and like,
Oh yeah.
and he just like decked it out. He was the art director.
Oh, gotcha.
He did it picture perfectly, and
Oh,
my mom got there for her shift and also to film it, but she was like, "Oh wow, like Steve did my whole open."
right.
So that was
Oh yeah, good.
way more than I could ask for you know. He offered all that stuff up. I didn't have to like ask for this or ask for that. So
He just totally worked with you, man. Just made it happen.
mhm.
Be a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can do a little more work together this weekend too. I mean, I might have to be on that panel, but if not, I'll help with the cameras and stuff. I'll still talk to the guys about that.
I would
Get a little more.
appreciate the help, but I would also love to see you in the episode on the panel.
Yeah, it's kind of both and for me too. So yeah, I'm still gonna work it out with the guys and just see what makes the most sense. Because the one thing is the format's a little short to have 4 or 5 panelists anyway.
Mm,
So we might have to just reduce the number of panelists and just have a more in-depth conversation.
for sure.
So that might be interesting.
I would love to figure out a way to use the drone, even if it's for B-roll.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing. Maybe do an outside the church shot, right? Just
Yeah.
something like that, right? Where we're having the session.
Mhm. Is it going to be inside at all? Inside
It is going to, well, 7:00 is going to be inside the auditorium. But if we got there early enough, maybe we could get a couple outside shots just as we're kind of going in. I don't know. I mean,
totally.
it'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. And I kind of wonder sometimes, you're I guess, a millennial or borderline Gen Z, and I'm Gen X, borderline, baby boomer.
Sure.
And sometimes I wonder, like in your circles, how are your friends perceiving current events versus mine? Because I have a lot of conversations with people in my age group
Yeah.
around what's happening.
Yeah.
What's your sense of things in your circle of millennials and people your age? How are they interpreting today's events?
I have a friend who is really against the spread of rumors that Antifa is behind these fires. Sharing on Facebook about it, giving pretty stern messages, captions or whatever, statuses about it, and he's even totally disregarded Joe Rogan since Joe Rogan's fib.
Mm.
I kind of couldn't believe it, but I have friends who feel very, very strongly about BLM, about the left side, film school friends, teachers. So it varies because over here, it's interesting. My Michigan friends are a lot more that side of things. And but over here, it's very conservative.
Oh, leans more towards not so much the BLM or the protester side. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even Christians.
Yeah.
I hadn't really experienced like conservative Christianity versus a more liberal Christianity.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
super interesting.
It's different, isn't it? Yeah. You just kind of, yeah, when you sit in those places where you have, Christian friends on both sides, those who are really liberal and follow Jesus, and those who are really conservative follow Jesus, and you go, especially if you grew up in a really conservative environment, you don't even know that the other ones exist, right?
Right.
On both sides, I suppose, right?
And my school was full of that. My school was full of both sides. And I was able to connect with both.
Definitely you could, yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that the liberal ones were, it was just an observation I made that they were a little bit lukewarm when it came to their Christianity and church attendance. And
Gotcha.
but then I had other friends who went every Sunday and
every Sunday.
And,
Yeah, you find that, for me, I find that my liberal friends are really passionate about BLM. Like, um, I'd say they're almost religious about it, like how important it is in their life, to kind of be on that. And that's okay. Like, I've had amazing conversations with them. Um, and with my conservative friends as well, just kind of going back and forth. But there is a different way that they hold that. I mean, the riots, the protests are generally from my friends on the left who are Christians are not super against it. They may be against the violence, but it feels a little tepid, like, yeah, the violence is wrong, but dang it, no justice, no peace, right? Kind of thing. And I went to a rally, actually. I went to Juneteenth here.
Yeah.
And it was a really good experience for me to hear that, to be there, to hear the stories, to march in the streets.
For sure.
That was good. I'd do that again too. That was really solid for me.
I was wondering how that experience was for you, because I remember seeing pictures and video, or just video, and I was like, oh.
I was on the Statesman Journal, man. If you look at the Statesman Journal, they have a picture of me in the front. I'm like right in that scene, and I look mad. My arms across, got my mask on. I don't think I was angry, but I look angry. Yeah. So I had mixed emotions there. Thanks for asking, actually, because I didn't get a chance to talk with you about this much. But my sense was, it was a little disorganized. The rally was, but okay, that's fine. It's a rally. But when we got to the talking, I valued that there was so many different perspectives there. Like, they had the Democratic Socialists of America, interesting group of people. Definitely want to defund the police. Probably when they say socialist, I think they're serious, but they probably mean a little more communism. I think, couldn't really tell, but I think that's what I felt. But they had the Democratic Socialist Americas there. They had politicians there. They had Christian pastors there. A group of pastors came up and spoke. They had different coalitions. It was a pretty diverse group of people that we were all speaking. And so that was really cool. I was like, whoa, I like that. Hearing stories, I was really moved almost to tears by this African-American man who was deaf. And he says, it's one thing to be a black man on the streets and to be afraid of, say, being arrested, but it's especially hard when you're deaf. He goes, I was shopping at a store and he was, browsing, and he didn't hear something, didn't respond. Somebody called the cops, and he couldn't hear the policeman had come in and had, I think, drawn his weapon and was asking him to comply, but he couldn't hear. So it looked to the cop like he was just being disorderly, and he turns around with the gun drawn. I was like, oh man, yeah. And hearing those stories, yeah, you go, yeah, you can argue systemic racism. You can't argue whether or not, black people are treated differently in general, across the country. And I go, yeah, I get that. And that part was really moving and really touching. And then on the other hand, after some of those stories were told and some of the politicians and the leaders of the movements came up, I felt it really shifted. It was just a power grab. There was a demand for a seat at the table. And it's interesting because most of these people in these movements are left-leaning, or they're Democrats. And they were mad at all the white Democrats in Oregon, the leader basically saying, at least this is what I picked up, is we are entitled to a seat at the table. Give us this house. Give us. And I just felt like, ooh, that made me like, because in my mind, I'm thinking, well, go get the votes. Go earn your seat at the table, right? You're not entitled to anything. That's the way I think about it. But it seemed like a real power grab. So I felt like my eyes were opened to things I knew, but my heart was really touched that there is things that we need to work on as a society. And then it kind of got also transformed into, but we're going to leverage that, and we want power, and we want power now. And then my thought was, well, why would I give you power over the people that are there now? I mean, it sounds to me like you're not going to do anything better than they are. And so then it kind of got sour for me, but then I went on to march. and I was, chanting the people, no justice, no peace. And it wasn't a long march, but it was actually cool to be part of a crowd. I mean, I've just never done it before. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
it took it was cool. So I had really mixed. On the one hand, I felt it was a really good rally, good to hear the stories. And on the other hand, I just felt people were leveraging a very difficult time in the country just to grab power, but I had no sense that they were going to be better politicians than the people we have. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We should go to a rally together.
Yeah. I know. As you were talking, I was thinking that it'd be really cool to capture that on film, and I wish that I would have the courage to go out there with the camera and be amongst them.
We should do that. We should do that. And we should have in-depth interviews with people. Just talk to them about, just get the heart of people while they're out there. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, dude. Salem Roundtable produced, but like if we can't use the studio and stuff, going out and doing it on location
on location
would be the reconfiguration that we could do. Our rally's still going on. Like, what if we did this in Portland?
There's a part of me that would love to. There's a part of me doesn't want to get lit on fire.
I know. Yeah.
I'm not sure how open some protesters are to actually being interviewed in a serious way. But again, there's people out there, I've seen, conservative interviewers out there marching with people, asking questions while they're marching. But you can tell it's trying to be a little inflammatory. Like, they're not necessarily really trying to connect, they're trying to challenge. And I think maybe if we had a way that people knew that they were safe just to talk and we're just trying to capture the hearts and explore, it might work. I would like to do that.
How would we incentivize people to come over? Like, would we just be off like holding a sign? Or would we...
That's a great question. I don't know. We'd have to ask somebody how to do that. Yeah, but we should definitely try and do that. And actually, I'm a fan, dude, of that.
I still would have gone to the fire department. And I wish I would have done this too, but I didn't have my drone at the time. But it'd be really, really cool to get some footage.
Yes.
Of them over in their cots in getting. It'd be crazy to be able to go out there with them. I don't know that they would allow that, but
dude, that would be really cool to get some footage like that.
Yeah, and I would hate being exploitative as far as like what's happening, and I'm using it for my artistic whatever. But I don't feel in my heart that I would be doing that. I feel like I would.
You wouldn't, yeah.
Showcasing realistically, because it's crazy what people. Okay, for example, my dad had never been on a movie set ever, and then he comes to film school, and he was on film on the set during trip while we were filming it.
Oh, wow.
In fact, during the slap, my dad ruined a few takes because he gasped.
You never told me that before.
Yeah. He gasped.
Wait a second. So the slap was actually on the set?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that room wasn't like someone's house, or?
That was my house.
Okay, it was house. Oh, when you say set, it wasn't like in a studio, but
no.
You made that room your set, and yes. He was there watching the production. Yeah.
He's behind us, and there was like a slap, and my dad goes, or or there was one time he slapped, and my dad goes, with his tongue. It still ruins audio.
You can't help but react, right?
Right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Which said a lot to him
right.
About his person and his reaction towards that type of violence, which is great.
You were saying in one of our previous talks that she actually got slapped. Like she was saying, "No, let's do this. All right, let's." And it was more than one take, right? She's like,
it was like 14 takes. Yeah.
Well, she got slapped 14 times.
It was split into 2 days, yeah, but.
Oh, Wow. Did she have any damage from that? Like she bleed at all? Did you just
No,
find a way to do it where?
she asked for a break at
Yeah.
one point, and we got some ice for her. I think she might have been bruised a little bit, but
It just seems kind of funny, man.
never took into consideration how the school would view that, you know?
Yeah.
or or the parents or anything. It's really interesting growing into being 25 now, viewing myself at Compass at 19, younger,
Right.
which is like, I can't even fathom that thought yet. Because I look at Carmen and I still view her as younger than me when I was at Compass, but no, she's a year older.
A year older, yeah. Yeah, it's been quite an interesting journey for your life, man. That brought you back in town and, back to Oregon and doing what you're doing now. But it really feels like you're in a transitional space right now. And it's not entirely certain what's next, but it's a good space.
Yes.
It's really cool, man.
Yeah. I can't be more thankful that you're here for it, to experience it, that you care at all for it,
Oh, yeah, dude.
I really,
Absolutely.
yeah, that alone is really, it means a lot.
Yeah, thanks, bro. You too, man. Love.
No doubt.
Absolutely. It's been good to watch and seeing your creativity, on both sides of the camera. I mean, if anybody watches this and doesn't follow you on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, it's time.
It's time.
Yeah. There's a lot you have out there. You have a lot of great material you're pushing out, which is really cool.
For sure. Very short form comedy and long form realism,
Yeah, your short form is just amazing, man. I'm loving some of those 60 seconds. 60 seconds. Sorry, my wife said hello to me. So yeah, you're the stuff you're putting out on TikTok is just the short stuff, man. Even on YouTube, those 60-second clips of Pipe Reels doing the robbery, Corona robbery.
Oh, that was so much fun.
That was so good. I'm loving that.
I want to. This is the first podcast I've done in a while. I've slowed down, but I'm still maintained since my surgery. I've done 3 or 4, 4 since my surgery, which is nice. And as many people that are trafficking to my YouTube right now, the podcasts aren't being viewed, which is unfortunate. They're more in that form. I think a lot of them come from TikTok, and TikTok viewers, kind of going back to your earlier question, TikTok viewers are much different than YouTube. I don't think they're going to stick around for very long,
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I've gotten kind of to a place where I think podcasts are, you get to a place like Rogan, where you have the kind of people he has on there. They're going to have a draw, right? When you bring Elon Musk on, I mean, geez, right? But I think the stuff that we're doing has efficacy to a targeted audience. But yeah, I wouldn't be discouraged by the numbers. I mean, I also think there's developing of the artistic, process and learning the conversations, because I know watching some of the interviews that you filmed for me, like in Pole Jams or me and David, every time I watch them, I think the highest maybe has like 100 views. And but when I watch them, I go, oh, I could do that better. Like, oh, that was a really good interview. And then I'm thinking about promoting some of them, especially the ones around adoption. I thought were really good.
Sure.
I thought those were really insightful. But I think some of them need a specific audience. And I think too, like, it's a different type of creativity, right? What you do on TikTok in 15 seconds or 60 seconds is different than maybe, a trip or a 10-minute film, which is different than, maybe something on Instagram. I mean, yeah, I'm still really curious how the audience demographics are different, or if they are. Like, I wonder if like more males or females or different age groups are on different platforms. And then can you tailor content, or does it matter at all? I don't know.
Yeah, I noticed that things will play on TikTok that won't on Instagram, for sure.
Yeah, right.
YouTube is really into pushing 10-minute or longer videos. I just found this out. If your video is around 10 minutes, it will get pushed into the algorithm because they want people's, going back to social dilemma, they want people's attention. So the longer you put them on that, and with TikTok, I think it's just the addictiveness of that video. When I find a video that I like, it's over and over and over and over that I want.
Yeah, you scroll down, scroll up, down, up.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, restarting it.
Yeah, totally. And you're right. Yeah, because you just scrolling through really quick, right? Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And if on TikTok, if you don't grab you really fast, people bounce, right? So you got to be pretty creative and really quick.
Yep, I got to use. When I'm watching, 3 to 4 seconds and I'm gone. And I know
yeah,
like that.
Yep. Yeah, just scrolling, man. Just scrolling.
Yeah.
Well, hey, bro, I got to jump to work. Listen, one thing I'm open to, if you want to just pause this, we can continue part 2 a little later or something. I don't mind talking more, but
no doubt.
I got to bounce into my day. So you let me know, because I feel like we're just kind of getting started too, in a way. So
sure. Yeah, I would love to. I can upload this to the roundtable.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it, man. Let's do both of them to the roundtable.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and if you can push them to CCTV, let's do that too. Why not, man?
Yeah.
It's up to you. You know, whatever airplay we can get would be awesome.
I know. Even if it's not their equipment or whatever. But yeah. Thank you very much for talking with me and being my
Oh, you too, boy. I love you, man.
Yeah, love you too, bro. For real.
Okay, catch up with you, bro.
Have a good day.
Peace. Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.